Hello, I'm back. I saw this shirt again. This was last week, last episode. Sorry. My name is Franco Herrera, and thank you for seeing you again on this series of the Perfume, still part one. Um, Again, about the shirt, I recorded the last one last week. I know maybe you're gonna notice that I always have this like speaker here, but it's because I really like to sing. So, um, I got this speaker for my birthday. I'm learning how to play the guitar, but right now I've been practicing mostly for presentations and stuff. So I sing a lot and it calms me down. So that's why the speaker is always there. And I figured that I'm just gonna use this shirt for the whole series. I think it's like really fun. The idea of the vocalist of the band being like obsessed with this book. So, um, let's get started immediately. Going into the book today, I want to discuss a little bit more further into the book. So last time we stayed in the part when he had his epiphany, and then he murdered the girl that was in Blossom. The word is very intentional, in Blossom, and he starts basically studying scents with this old perfume alchemist, right? That has this shops, one of the most successful shops in Paris, in France, who is actually thinking of retiring because he's not having the same success that his shop once had. And Grenouille comes in and he challenged the man into telling him, I can create a scent really great, like a perfume of this one man, which was like thriving, and which the alchemist was jealous of. I can recreate it and actually make a better perfume out of it. And he did not believe him. Eventually he did. I think I can infer that throughout this part of the book, Grenouille is like 14 years old or something like that. 14, 15, he's pretty young. But he becomes a secret weapon of this alchemist, and Grenouille learns how to do pomades, how to create perfumes, how to create toiletries, how to create candles and everything. So he studies, right? Because he has this one objective in mind, which is actually to trap that one scent that he once was so obsessed with. But he did not have the resources in that time, so now he's trying to learn how he can do that. Even though he already knows how to create great scents, he already understands smell really well, he wants to study that until the minimum. After he leaves from the perfumery, right? And he goes into a mountain for 7 years, and he purely studies with his mind scents and combines scents in his mind, creates perfume, creates all of these things with his own mind. Basically, he's alone. Well, not completely alone. He had some orgies, if we could say, but basically he just stayed 7 years in a mountain studying with his mind and concocting various scents. And I want to share this specific quote that he realized when he was like, he had another epiphany basically, when he was like in this mountain, right? So it says, he knew that he could do much more. He knew that he could improve on this scent. We're talking about the human scent, or in this case, the virgin scent. He would be able to create a scent that was not merely human, but superhuman. An angel scent. So indescribably good and vital that whoever smelled it would be enchanted, and with his whole heart would have to love him. Grenouille, the bearer of that scent. So, again, we're coming into this, that smell of that woman, he like kind of conjures it with the smell of love. He does not have a scent, and he has never received that love, but now he craves for that love. He wants somebody to love him, and that's why he wants to create this superhuman, this angelic scent, because in order, when he has it, people are gonna have to love him, and that's what he really wants. That's what the book is about. This man that has no identity wanting identity. And so yeah, perhaps he's murdering everyone and he's going through this like psychotic type of episodes. But after all, his kind of journey is not so different from journeys that most people go through, and which are identity crises, or wanting to know who we are, wanting to be loved. And so that's what he wants. He wants love. And he thinks that with this scent, he's gonna have the love of people. And that's what sometimes we want as well. And he knew that all this was within his power, for people could close their eyes to greatness, to horrors, to beauty, and their ears to melodies or deceiving words. But they could not escape scent. For scent was a brother of breath. Together with breath, it entered human beings who could not defend themselves against it, not if they wanted to live. And scent entered into their very core, went directly into their hearts, and decided for good and all between affection and contempt, disgust and lust, love and hate. He who ruled scent ruled the hearts of men. Right? Right. Right. When I read that, I went like this. Damn. Like, I went like, that's powerful. That's very powerful. So, again, is the use of language of the author. Eventually, he leaves the mountain. He already has his idea. He already has it studied a lot. So he moves into this small town, right? And in the small town, he kind of comes in contact again with this scent. And it's of a young woman, again, in blossom or in bloom, right? And he smells it again, but he says, I have to wait a little. I have to wait for a little because I have to actually perfect what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna trap her scent? So what he starts doing, he starts practicing by murdering women, young women, right? And so he starts murdering them and starts kind of studying and learning how he's gonna trap this one girl's scent. And as he's killing them, right, the people in the town start getting scared. Mostly because every woman or every girl that is killed has still their virginity intact. So when they found them, they are dead, right? But they are still virgins. And so that scares them. It scares them because if they were not virgins, they would have an idea of why someone is murdering them. He's murdering to have sex with them, to rape them, right? To have their bodies in that way. But having their virginity intact, they're scared because they don't know. And we humans, we fear what we don't know, right? And they don't know why someone is killing these young girls. What is the reason? What do they want to achieve? So that scares them. Sorry. And so that's how he practices. That's how he gets everything like into place, killing other young women. And eventually he's so into the process that he just really wants to, his sole purpose is to be loved. His sole purpose is to actually trap that one scent, the scent of love, the scent of this one woman, that he does not care of anything else. But at the end of the day, he didn't have anything else. He didn't have no one else. He had no family, no loved ones. So he had more than just himself. Had gone through all of this, like, bad things throughout his childhood, survived a million things, went through hell and back, like I said. And he just wants to be loved. So that's what he's doing, And that's when I want to talk about the nature and nurture part. So leaving the book aside for a little bit, I'm talking about psychopaths, right? And how there's always been this debate, are they born like that? Are they made into that? And it's pretty interesting because sometimes it's very clear, like, okay, he was made into that. This person was made into it. For example, again, using the example of You, which is a series which I'm talking about, like, modern kind of adaptations of things or modern ideas of psychopaths. So I was talking about this stalker, right? There's glimpses in the show about Joe's childhood in which we understand that his mother was abusive towards him. His mother was an alcoholic. His mother did not like him. He did not have a father. He had a rough childhood. That's why he became a stalker. He did not have a proper family environment. He didn't really know how to love. He was never showed how to love. So he adapted his love into stalking and learning everything about a woman so that he could, like, have them for himself. So now we understand that he was not born a psychopath. He was made a one. Through traumatic experiences, his brain worked differently as other people who grew with a normal childhood or with less trauma, right? In this case, however, if you think about it, it's kind of both, or that's how we see it. Because first, he was born without a scent. So that's kind of like genetically, like, there. He was born without a scent. So nature. But then his childhood was pretty rough. He did not have any love. He did not have no one. He was neglected. He was forced to work. He got sick multiple times. He had now like an injury in his left foot that prohibited from walking correctly. This child went through so much. He did not have love, and then eventually he started craving love, which he never had. So that's why he wanted this perfume, right? Because everyone was gonna have to love him. That's why he thought. But then at the end of the day, if you think of, if he would have had a scent, maybe things would have been different. Because then people would have left him for his scent, like in the context of the book. But that's where then these two things come to place, in which it gets me to think maybe sometimes psychopaths are born. Yeah, probably then their land nurture has something to do, but they are born with it. They are like genetically born like that. So he did not have a scent, and on top of that, his childhood was horrendous. So both things came in place right there. So it comes into mind like about, is there a psychopathic gene? It all comes back to like, for example, like, is there a gay gene? People sometimes think there's a gay gene, or maybe gay people are made throughout their childhood, or gay people are born like that. All of this comes right into that human spectrum of, are we born like this, or are we made into this? And the answer is that maybe it plays parts in two things. Sometimes you're genetically disposed into being an alcoholic. Sometimes you're genetically flawed and into like being obese, or into having cancer or some sort of diseases and everything. Sometimes it's just because of your habits that you grow into different sicknesses, right? But I think it's a mix of both. And that's where the debate kind of comes to an end. I don't think it's really about, is it nature, is it nurture? But I think it's really about both. And how, if you draw a Venn diagram, what aspects of nature, of how a person was born, have affected this person, and what aspects of how he was raised up psychologically, his course of life, have affected him as well. And then in the center right there, be like, okay, so all of these factors made him this way. So both parts. So I think that is pretty interesting, and that is something that we really have to pay attention to. And that is perhaps one of the greatest ideas to develop in literature, specifically like in this book. So I think that is all for today. We're basically through with part one. Throughout part one, he just basically discovers what to do. He studies the way of trapping the scent. But we kind of understand that sometimes people just want love, right? And in this case, that's what he wants. Again, I leave you with a quote. He who knows smell, or he... Wait, let me read it again. I don't want to mess it up. But I want to leave you with that quote again. He who ruled scent ruled the hearts of men. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. My name is Franco Herrera. Next episode, we're gonna finish the kind of like analogy of the book, see how it ends. And then we're gonna delve completely into analyzing perfectly kind of the author. And we're gonna analyze how literary devices that he used in order to achieve his the whole complexity of the book, right? And also pretty much talk more about made or born a psychopath. Grenouille, the frog. Okay, so goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. And yeah, bye.